Dr. McDougall's medical education began in 1965 at the age of 18 when he suffered a massive stroke that left him completely paralyzed on the left side of his body for 2 weeks. This was his first real contact with the businesses of medicine, and without this event, he would have never become a physician. He was surprised that after asking each doctor, "What caused my stroke? What are you going to do for me?" he was never given a valid response. He figured he could do that. Dr. McDougall earned his medical degree at the College of Human Medicine at Michigan State University. During Dr. McDougall's early years as a doctor, he was frustrated by the fact that he did not know how to cure his patients with chronic diseases. He did as he was taught in medical school, to prescribe medications, which temporarily controlled symptoms, but never got to the root problem. He realized that people, including doctors, have an expectation that we will get fatter and sicker as we age. However, this thought was challenged while he was working with elderly immigrants at a sugar plantation near Honolulu. These immigrants were from China, Japan, Korea, and the Philippines. This generation remained trim, active, and medication-free into their 90s. They had no diabetes, no heart disease, no arthritis, and no breast, prostate, or colon cancers. Their children were a little heavier and not as healthy. But the youngest generation, the grandchildren, suffered from the most profound health problems. What Dr. McDougall had discovered was these families had gone from a traditional diet in their countries of origin to fully adopting an American diet. The elders' diet was founded on rice and vegetables. The grandchildren were completely impacted by the Western diet, rich in meat, dairy, and processed foods. The story is the same all over the world. Whether rice in Asia, potatoes in South America, corn in Central America, wheat in Europe, or beans, millet, sweet potatoes, and barley around the globe, starch has been at the center of food and nutrition throughout human history. All large populations of trim, healthy people have obtained the bulk of their calories from starch. Dr. McDougall was frustrated that his medical training had taught him nothing about the impact of food on health. Nutrition was almost never mentioned in medical school, textbooks, internship, or residency. Still today, medical training includes very little about human nutrition. Yet, it is the one thing that has allowed Dr. McDougall to take patients off ineffective pills, protect them from risky surgeries, and offer them a simple, effective pathway to health and longevity, and permanent loss of excess body weight. Most diet books will tell you to stay away from carbs. The fear of the almighty carb has taken over the diet industry for the past few decades. Even the mere mention of a starch-heavy food is enough to trigger an avalanche of shame and longing. But the truth is, carbs are not the enemy. The Starch Solution is based on a simple swap. By fueling your body primarily with carbohydrates rather than proteins and fats, you'll feel satisfied, boost energy, and look and feel your best. The Starch Solution is not a fad diet. Dr. McDougall has been a proponent of a plant-based diet for decades. Dr. McDougall's work is based on the latest scientific research. His expertise has helped thousands of people to slim down and to regain their health. Many of these stories are in the book The Starch Solution. It includes people who have lost more than 125 pounds in mere months, as well as patients who have conquered life-threatening illnesses such as type 2 diabetes, arthritis, and heart disease. First, let's talk about what is a starch. Starch is a complex carbohydrate made up of long chains of sugar molecules stored in the plant's parts for future use. Starchy plant food parts selected by people for eating are simply called starches. Tubers, like potatoes, sweet potato, and cassava, winter squashes, like pumpkin, butternut, and acorn, legumes, like beans, peas, lentils, and grains, barley, corn, rice, wheat, serve as organs for storing starch. Green and yellow vegetables, such as broccoli, cauliflower, and asparagus, accumulate very little starch. And fruits are made up of simple sugars, not complex ones. All animal foods, including beef, chicken, fish, shellfish, eggs, milk, and cheese, contain no starch at all. Starches are very low in fat, 1% to 8% of their calories. They contain no cholesterol, do not grow human pathogens, and do not store poisonous chemicals. Starch is clean fuel. Starches were a critical food source for the ancestors of early and modern humans. The ability to efficiently utilize starch provided the opportunity for us to migrate out of Africa, to colonize the rest of the planet, to locations where fruits are plentiful only in summer and fall. Starch-filled tubers and grains act as storage units for concentrated calories that last throughout the winter, are widely distributed geographically, and are easy to gather. Their abundant calories also supplied the extra energy necessary for the brain to evolve from monkey size to human size, a 3 times difference. What else does Dr. McDougall say about starch? Because of their natural rewarding properties, having great taste and nourishing calories, people refer to beans, breads, corn, pasta, potatoes, and rice as comfort foods. I'll also add that starches are the cheapest foods on the planet. In addition to clean and efficient, satisfying energy, starches provide an abundance of other nutrients, such as proteins, essential fats, vitamins, and minerals. Some single starches, for example potatoes and sweet potatoes, are complete foods and can easily meet all of our nutritional needs alone. Grains and legumes are deficient in vitamins A and C, but the addition of a small amount of fruit or green and yellow vegetables easily provides for these vitamins. Let's talk about foods you should and should not eat on the Starch Solution. You should always center your plate around starches and then add color and flavor with non-starchy vegetables and fruits. You should eat as much starches and non-starchy vegetables as you'd like, and try to go with the least processed starches you can. Fruits, because they're high in simple sugars, should be limited to 3 servings a day. What are some foods you can eat in smaller quantities? Foods for flavoring, such as tempeh, tofu, nutritional yeast, soy sauce, miso paste, soy-based yogurts, herbs and spices, nut milks, maple syrup, nuts and seeds, nut butters, olives, avocados, and dried fruit. Foods to stay away from altogether: meat, poultry, dairy, eggs, seafood, animal fats such as lard and butter, all vegetable oils, including olive, canola, coconut, flaxseed, processed foods such as colas, processed meats, cookies, desserts, and highly processed meat equivalents, especially made from isolated soy protein. Here are a couple other things about the Starch Solution. Dr. McDougall is not too strict about salt. He'd rather you put on a little salt and enjoy your healthy food rather than find it bland and not eat it. He also recommends eating many small meals a day rather than 1 or 2 large ones. And you should cook your own food when possible, avoiding going out to restaurants. So if you're interested in transitioning to a whole foods, plant-based diet, consider trying the Starch Solution. It is a really satiating, satisfying diet. The food is incredible. It's really inexpensive. It's pretty easy, and even non-vegans love this food. It's so good. So Dr. McDougall generously gives all of this information for free online. If you go to his website, drmcdougall.com, you'll find a whole bunch of videos. He also has a monthly newsletter providing a lot of information. If you are eating this way, there are support groups on Facebook. There's also an excellent app with recipes, but it is nice having it all in one book. This book has a ton of recipes, some really awesome success stories, and all the information that you saw in this video, plus a whole lot more. The book is obviously a lot more comprehensive, so if you enjoyed what you heard today, consider picking up this book and giving it a read. And thank you so much for watching this video.